we are back, and are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do this.
Alright, so once again, we're going to talk Antman. We're going to review Antman. We're going to maybe not review it beat for beat, but we're going to just kind of give our opinions on it, and it will have spoilers. So if you have not seen Antman, shame on you. It's a Marvel movie, and you should have seen it in theaters by now.
I saw it yesterday.
Which is actually Saturday.
I take that 2 days ago. I saw it Friday night.
Friday night, okay, so...
2 weeks after it came out.
Shame on you.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Which I actually I offered to hand you money out of my wallet for you to go see it. Like, you don't have an excuse now.
I don't need your money.
You don't.
I want your money, but I don't need it.
Right. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk Ant-Man. If you haven't seen it, pause this, run to your local cinema.
Watch it.
Enjoy it.
And then on the ride home, listen to our review of it and agree with me.
Or don't.
Only Mark, though.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put a blanket score out there. So people...
What, each of us?
Yeah, say, what score did you give this out of 10?
Out of 10?
What score did you give this movie? Should I start?
You start. Cause
Yeah.
You spoiled it last week for everybody.
Well, confirm it then.
Yeah, confirm it.
I
He's going to
gave-
change it now.
Right, yeah.
I gave Ant-Man a 4.5 out of 10.
Wow, okay.
Which-
It's actually high for Alex.
Which I honestly would be willing to round up to a 5 if decimal points are frowned upon.
Okay.
So,
yeah, let's say, why bother if it's out of 10?
well,
How about that?
out of 50, I'm kidding.
Out of 5,752.
Yeah. I right dab in the middle.
Right in the middle.
On the average scale, it is a average movie.
Mark?
If we're going 1 to 10, I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd give it a 6 also.
Yeah.
Neither one. Those are actually bad scores for you two guys.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
one thing for me to say 4.5 and it'd be, well, that's good for Alex. I'm sorry, 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's good for Alex.
Right,
And
right.
But y'all to give something a 6, that's not good. You give
Even for the
everything an 8 out of 10.
No, we don't.
Okay, 7 out of 10. You give
Nah.
everything on the side.
Really?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you that it says something about the film. Now let's figure out what it says. Why did you rate it so lowly, Alex?
Hey, in theory, y'all only gave it 1
Bit
point.
more.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
More than me.
Yeah.
I'm no longer interested in why I didn't like it.
You want to know what our thoughts on it?
I really... Okay, so I'll start off, though.
All right.
Because I'm that way. I'm that kind of control freak.
It's true.
Go for it.
I gave it a 5 out of 10, mostly because this movie suffers from being average. It is a very average film. It does a lot of things that are not spectacular. The visuals are great, but everything between the action scenes seems very...
Formulaic?
Yeah, just barely, it's in focus, and that's it. There's nothing special. There's...
Just listening to you makes me want to change my score. I kind of want to tick it up to a 7 now, and I have a good reason for it.
You can. You've already committed to it. I'm glad. I'm glad we got this out of the way. I think it suffers from being too average. I think a lot of criticism.
You're
People
gonna
giving.
have to give me some
whoa,
words that
I
identify
will. I
average.
will. Okay.
Well, you've said average six times.
Yeah.
And
Did you
none
count
of-
it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, because that's what it is.
But
I
you
sat
need
through
to-
2 hours of average.
Okay. So average is a modifier, and usually it qualifies something. It's an average film, and in what way was the storytelling
Fair.
average?
Compared to the other Marvel films that we've seen,
Right.
and actually action films in general,
Yeah.
it didn't make me at any point in the movie feel a certain way. It
Okay.
didn't make me feel sad. It didn't make me feel, wow, this is exciting and amazing and hilarious. No, it had some funny scenes. But it didn't ever make me feel awe-inspired, or it didn't make me hate it.
Okay.
At no point did I say, okay, this is stupid. Why am I watching this?
So give me an example of how you would feel watching a movie that you did. Like, I'm thinking you must have liked at least one of the Spider-Man films.
Okay. It was a perfect scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2, a movie I did not like.
Okay.
Okay.
That actually made me feel something.
Okay.
And it was, of course, it was between Peter and Gwen, Andrew Garfield, and Emma Stone.
That's the best part of that movie. So.
When they're in that closet in Oscorp, and it's just kind of flirtatious and fun. And that actually made me feel something. It made me hark back to my actual life and think of a romantic moment, and it actually made you feel something. There wasn't a single one of those moments in the film.
Fair enough.
And even in all the topics, they had a lot of topics. They had a lot of daddy-daughter issues, which honestly I can't really associate with. But I mean, I kind of understand. That's easy to empathize with.
Sure.
There was the whole trying to become become a good father, become a good dad.
Sure.
Which I don't think they did very well. I think, but there's two.
They
Two
weren't
analogs.
able to in the time that they had, I think. But I agree with you. I mean,
other movies could, I think the major.
Mrs. Doubtfire, I'm looking at you.
Yes. Yes. Mrs. Doubtfire made you feel things.
Right.
Made you feel for him being a father. I think it tried to do a lot of different things, and it never succeeded. I think it tried to tell the father-daughter story at two different analogs, right?
Okay.
It tried to tell the good guy, bad guy story, and it made that feel really contrived. It tried to make a bad guy and couldn't do it.
Mark, do you have anything you want to jump in with these?
I think that they were trying to go for the father-daughter thing by going to two different angles with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Watered it down.
I agree.
If they had just made Hope just somebody that worked with Pym instead of making him his daughter, then they could have focused more on the Scott Lang and Cassie Lang problem. But I think what they were trying to do was make where Hank Pym and Scott Lang were related in the whole father-daughter issue.
Yes.
Is what that was. And I think that made them where they could connect.
But they never did that. At no point did Scott.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
No,
Yes,
he
they
did.
did.
Scott was like, I should be a better dad.
It's a tagline, bro. There's a tagline in the movie where he says, it's the jab, the final jab that Hank delivers to Scott. That right there is that moment.
It took you to the third act. It's
Hey,
like, yeah,
that's
you
what
should
It was
know
there.
him.
It was there.
That's what it takes.
It was in the
Scott, it's
denouement. It was in the proper place.
Scott,
in
you
the
should
story.
go be a better dad. Here's the story
You've
I
got a
learned.
really good Michael Douglas.
He does.
Here's the story I learned from Liberace's story.
I'm going to try and lighten this up a little bit and hit you with the other side of some of the things you're saying. I will start by saying I agree with you that this is an average film and that the different points that they try to take are very average, right? And I would say that it is even more an accurate description if you're looking at this as a film critic or a film lover that is not a Marvelite, okay? Now, all that being said, they absolutely nailed it with the relationship between Scott Lang and Hank Pym and the story that they were trying to tell.
Yep.
They absolutely nailed Hank Pym in the way that he's just throwing punches at everybody who pisses him off.
Oh yeah, he's a total.
They
That's not
absolutely nailed
Yeah.
Hank Pym when it comes to the way that he handles his technology. We're seeing a Hank Pym who, for decades, basically gave up two birds to the entire world and did his little Herbity science thing, which is exactly what he has done many, many times in the comics. They nailed Hank Pym. The thing that happens with Hope and Hank feels contrived on a couple of levels. Because for me, I was a little confused at some points. I'm like, wait a minute, is she in on it? Is she not in on it? Are they working against the bad guy? Or are they not? And how real is the tension between them all? And so that's kind of hard to get that solidified relationship set up. And I guess on another end, I just thought, when is she going to become the Wasp? The entire time I watched her from the first thing on scene, they should not have done this character with a very Janet Van Dyne haircut. She should have been allowed to look completely different from the iconic character she's going to eventually become.
fair. Now, Evangeline Lilly was a good part of the film.
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite. One of my favorite visual effects in the entire film.
Yes,
it was all practical effects.
How have we not nerded out? How have we not lost our mind on the micro universe when he does go all? Oh, dude,
that was the part that really started getting me. Is when in the
Yeah.
microverse, I was like, okay, this is actually starting to make me feel something for this character.
Because we knew that we were going to go phase 1, 2, 3, right? We knew we'd get to a cosmic perspective. That everything I've had in mind about Marvel so far has been this ripple outward, right, into all these different things. This is the first time you're like, oh crap, there is an entire level down there. There's a whole universe down there, and it was a bunch of really bad books in the 80s, but it's there.
But it's going to allow us to get Van Dyne back at some point.
I certainly hope so.
I think that's all it is a plot device. Don't get excited. I think, yes, it'll open up an opportunity for some writer somewhere down the line when they need a Phase 5 story. It's Guardians of the Galaxy equivalent. they may go into the microverse, but it's almost like, okay, so how can we make another Wasp character that's young and not Hope? How can we bring back a Janet Van Dyne? How can we bring her back, cast a younger actress, and make this all work out, and then maybe put her in both the prequel movie and Ant-Man 3 whenever that comes out?
Who's to say that she's been isolated in time in the microverse?
So they said time doesn't exist?
Yeah. He says so. Time does not exist.
Yeah,
Time,
that's
space, and
relativity. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
The
exist
smaller and lighter you are, the less time has an
Okay.
impact on you. E equals MC square.
Yeah, but if I'm writing this, I'd probably write it in such a way that they go down there to figure out what's going on. They land in some kind of a war scene that they're not familiar with, and they get to a point they realize she's dead, but they have to keep going because there's a bad guy to kill who's threatening their bigger.
Or they find her and she dies while they're there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be. We have two Wasps because you're going to have Hope in the costume and shrinking and
Where's
growing.
Jocasta?
And that costume looked awesome.
It did.
Anyway, they revealed in the after trailers and
That's probably
Oh,
my.
yeah.
It's the mid-credit scene.
well, whichever.
As we were talking about this, I told you guys I had something that I was kind of annoyed with the fans about, and it's got to be that people are bitching about the lack of Wasp.
Who cares? It's not a Wasp movie.
No, but that
Antman.
scene on the rocket when their Wasp was in there was
Yeah.
one of my favorite scenes. To see them, as the superheroes back then,
As
I
the team.
loved. It was awesome.
Okay.
What
That-
about that history footage of like unconfirmed Ant-Man going rogue on?
Okay,
Those
time
were
out.
awesome.
Let me stop there. That was the movie we should have gotten. We should have
young
gotten
Hank
a
Pym.
young Hank Pym, and it'd be a spy thriller,
What if we just get that in the
So
form
instead
of a
of a
television show, like
which
Agent
is what
Carter?
they have the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
And,
So
and that's
you
also
wanted
another
to-
reason they haven't cast Janet
Wasp.
Van Dyne,
Yeah.
because they probably want to leave that open.
I'd
They didn't
watch
want to.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So you wanted a spy thriller instead of a heist movie?
Well, that's fine. I understand that it's obviously different genres.
Yeah.
And
if you look at this as a heist movie, it wasn't a bad heist movie.
right?
I mean, it wasn't.
Well,
Maybe
Oceans.
one really good heist movie.
Oceans.
11.
The entire series is better. It's a more. It's got to be complex enough to where.
I got one.
Yeah.
Hudson Hawk. You're welcome.
That's a great
Would
movie.
you like to swing on a star?
You're singing something nobody remembers but you.
No, they're out there, bro.
I remember it.
People remember.
You remember
Kit
it
Kat.
too.
Because
So
you
don't
forced
even-
me to watch it.
People remember Almond Joy. People remember Butterfinger. This is true. People remember Buffy and Ball Ball, my friend. I know. I'm telling you.
All right.
Okay, back to the
Ant-Man.
story. As far as heist, the important part of a heist movie is the fear of something going wrong. Of something, timing has to be.
I'll give
the
you
best
that.
part of a heist movie is they have to have the plan,
The tension.
and then something unexpected happens, and then they go and they fix it last second, and they can keep
They
going.
did that.
Oh, okay, but
The dramatic tension wasn't really there.
here's the and this is my theory as to why that happens. Because in that moment when they do that, right, where they build the tension, things go wrong, guy knocks out a cop, and then he saves him as he's leaving the building.
Yeah.
At the same time, you've got Scott going super micro level. So it's very very near the timing of that point in the film.
You know what the problem
Where-
was? Is you did not care anything at all about the people that Scott was working with.
Dude,
Those-
I love that guy. The dude who was
Michael
retelling those
Pena?
ridiculous stories and that
Okay,
super...
yeah, he was it, but the
Okay.
other two characters were nothing. The other two characters are throwaway.
Wait, I don't even remember who they are.
One of
Exactly.
them played the Joker's goon in Dark Knight,
Right? Yeah, he was the Russian guy.
and the other is
He's
a
the
rapper who's been in
wheelman.
prison.
Yeah, it was T.I.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a good rapper.
Yeah, that felt like studio interjection.
Yeah, those two
We need
characters
faces.
had zero development, zero to do with
Yeah.
anything. If they had been Scott Lang's old team
Like
from
that-
that first heist he pulled off, instead of just guys he shows up and he's like, who are you and who are you?
Yeah, you're right.
To build more, oh man, his team's failing him. Why is his team failing him?
Well-
Now you're like, they're failing, whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could take it from the perspective of this is Scott trying to work with the team for the first time. And that...
But once again, it's not developed well enough to make you care.
Oh, you're right. No, I agree.
It's
I'm just
a
saying,
movie
if
of-
I preface this with it's even more accurate description if you're not a Marvelite. I'm a Marvelite. I will find the silver lining in every
Oh
situation.
yeah,
in
I'm
this
a
movie.
Marvelite,
That's
and I
fine.
loved the superhero stuff in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
You should have used more discs.
should have.
Yeah.
Actually, the disc parts were cool.
Yeah.
But the disc was used so infrequently that when he did use it, you're like, what was that again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
It should have been a little more prominent up
Why
front.
didn't he lead with that?
I kind of wanted to be like, oh, he forgot he had those.
I guess it kind of
If he was a little offline,
Because you think about it, he's never been a superhero before.
That's true.
The thing I did like that they set up before he started his training with Hank Pym is when he breaks into Pym's house, he's doing the acrobatics and climbing the wall
parkour,
and everything. He's doing all that already. So there's no like, well, how the hell did he figure it out to do that?
Yeah. You didn't have to have
it's
a
already
training
set
montage.
in. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you did. But
You did. You had to fight it.
gotta have a montage.
montage.
You had the fighting montage and learning how the suit works. You weren't having to learn how to be a superhero or a thief.
And
I
that
like how
was-
he tried to nope out of it. That was probably my favorite thing about Scott Lang was that almost every step of the way, he has to deal with real world pressure and find out whether or not he's going to take that next step down the rabbit hole. So I like that he grabs the suit and then tries to bring it back.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
I feel that they made him too much of a joke at times.
Yeah.
Come on,
Okay.
there's the big heartbreak scene between Hank and Hope, and then he just ruins it.
And he does.
And it's supposed to be funny, but nobody laughed.
I did.
I didn't.
Heartily.
No.
Nobody.
Yes.
My theater was
I
dead
ruined it.
silent at that part.
It wasn't funny. Here's the thing.
2
Any
weeks
bit
later, should have gone opening weekend, man. That's where your people are.
Uh-huh.
of any. Oh, let's talk about biased theaters then.
Yeah.
It's like a cloud of THC just covers and makes everybody giggle because it's all just fan nerdom. No, here's the thing about like the comedy in the movie. The comedy was great. Like, okay, hold up.
Some of
The
it was great.
comedy was funny. I laughed
Sure.
at it. The problem is every comedic scene felt like it was added in there and did not contribute to the overall movie.
Well-
There were some funny visuals, but the Baskin Robbins scene, half of the story throwbacks with the when
Those were
his little
cool.
buddy- They were cool, but like it actually doesn't really help the entire movie. If you can be in the middle of a movie, like, oh, he got my dick message. Like in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yes, yeah.
that's funny. Now, granted, it's a dick joke, and I'm
Right.
gonna laugh at that every
But
time.
it was a well constructed, well delivered dick joke.
and it had build up
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Yeah.
The car
I
ride,
love your enthusiasm with that, Mark.
the car ride home from the prison when he's like, "Oh, my father died," and
Oh, yeah. But I got
like
this
a
van.
car, you know. Like that's funny, but that entire scene did not help the entire movie. Like, granted, yes, that's how he got home from the prison. Thank you.
Well,
Hey,
But it didn't harken anything back really later to make another joke out of it.
so let's
Comedy build.
now the van did become a character, but
we got about 2 minutes left in segment. Is there anything specific that you guys want to tag on to the end of this? Like, make your case and then.
I think I'm sorry I cut you off. Did you want to go ahead and go?
My only thing is I don't understand why you didn't like this movie more, because we're watching it. My wife leans over. She goes, watching Scott Lang is like watching Alex on the screen.
Awesome.
You were holding out on that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was hanging on to that little gem.
That's a good one.
But I went, that's where I know that guy from.
And in the theater, you said that loud.
That's hilarious.
I don't-
Cosplay.
I
Coming
don't-
soon to a con near you.
I don't know how to follow that. I wish you'd held out.
Okay, could anybody else feel all the tacked on stuff that was added after Edgar Wright left? The Falcon scene,
Yep.
all the Marvel references. But you know what? I liked the Falcon scene a lot.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah, Falcon scene was actually kind of cool.
was.
Yeah, it added you, it threw it into that world where it needed to be.
Let's answer that question. What does "he said yes" mean?
Oh no, that means that he said yes, and at the very end, that was proving that the Avengers are looking at Antman.
Yeah.
That's all that tells you.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a guarantee that he is going to join Antman.
Well, he's going to be in Civil
He's
War.
in Civil War is what it cast.
Come on, that last the scene at the end of the credits,
Yeah.
is from Civil War.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
actually
get that.
directed-
That's something that's actually happening.
That's an excerpt.
According
Yeah.
to the Accords, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Can I just comment a little bit back to the plot?
Yeah.
The villain.
Weak villain.
Weak villain?
Obadiah Stane, weak villain.
No, Obadiah Stane at
Was a
least had
better villain.
charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had nothing.
No,
Yeah.
and that's not his fault. That's all right. But the biggest problem, going back to the stuff that they did post Edgar Wright, why did they try to force Hydra in there? They shoehorned a Hydra. This is not the best platform for Hydra to come back post Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Winter Soldier. Like, this is not a good
I
place for them to
disagree.
come back.
I completely disagree. I think
Yeah.
this is technology Hydra would be after.
It would be, but why not any of the other organizations? I was going to say AIM, but that was in Iron Man 3, and it didn't turn out great. But it'd be great if they were still there,
Right.
and they were in beehive suits. That would have been amazing.
Okay, so
Best thing ever. Yeah.
I think, for another reason, I think that it's a perfect place for it because Ant-Man is very, very specifically targeted toward as a family film. This thing is meant for the kids to go watch. So, just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is meant to be a family time slot type of thing. So I think that the people who are tuning into happenstance of the Inhumans, what's happening with Hydra, S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff, it's going to be right up their alley. This fits into their contiguous storytelling. Whereas...
I understand that.
Do you?
But we've been so concerned with continuity and things changing and evolving in the Marvel Universe. Introducing Hydra again kind of takes a step back.
I disagree.
I completely disagree with that.
Hydra
They're
doesn't
still
It
even
wasn't
care.
well done, though. They're like, oh, here's my buyers. They're from Hydra. 5 minutes later, man, those guys are all gone.
It's kind of just like a comic book, though.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Hydra's been damaged, so they're not going to be able to like attack that or anything.
I just think it was a small inclusion that was unnecessary that could have been any government body, and they could have called them Hydra later if they felt to write it in, but it felt very forced, and I don't think that it felt like something was shoehorned after Edgar Wright. It sounds like, to me, I was like, this is what I was talking
you
about.
don't
Edgar
have
Wright.
access to that.
Stuff about the getting shoehorned in. How about the Spider-Man reference that got shoehorned
Okay,
in?
so that
What?
was
there-
awesome.
There has been reports afterwards from the directors of the film said that was already in there prior to the Spider-Man deal, and it was just coincidence.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah,
that's super
so
funny.
that's not shoehorned in at all. But
But it was great. It was brilliant. I like
yeah, I got
that
people
part.
to swing. I got people to climb walls. I got people to do all these things. Okay, I here's my thing. I was sitting in the theater. I know. Are we out of time? As the computer
I'm
stopped?
just- here's the thing. You're probably going to want the last word. So at some point, let me
No.
go so I can let you go.
I
so
just
we can
have a
wind this
theory. I have
down.
another theory. It's a theory conversational point.
Okay.
I was sitting in the theater. I'm like, with all the options that Marvel has created for themselves, is a 2 hour. Well, I said some rounding up. 2 hour long movie, the best medium for this story, or would it have been really fun as 30-minute episodes, a short series, something they could have maybe created in segments? Just because Edgar Wright spent 8 years trying to make it a movie, was it really the best medium for this character in this story, or could they maybe develop those things a little bit better over 6 30-minute episodes with some great visual budget? I was like, because we've done it right with Daredevil, we've done something different with S.H.I.E.L.D.
You've never shrank with Daredevil, and you have not had this level of
Right, it would
special
take a
effects
much
with
bigger,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
bigger budget.
So you require a motion picture budget
Yeah,
to make this
you
happen.
really do.
Additionally, it sounds like you're looking for A-lister experience and exposure for what is really Scott Lang, a C-listing character. He needs to be splashed into your existence, not a big focus, and then sprinkled in all the amazing places he can be in every film that he's going to be involved in moving forward.
Yeah.
It's the perfect place. A 2-hour movie is the perfect place to introduce
that
Ant-Man.
mainly getting the PIM technologies and all that can
Yeah,
into it.
that's your exposition. Now,
And you're
it
gonna
is-
you need more characters for Civil War. You got
Right.
2 right there.
Right.
You got 3.
Mark,
Yeah.
do we really need more characters for Civil
Yes,
War?
I want everybody. I want this
As many
cast
as we can get.
bigger than Age of Ultron.
I want to see
It's
a
gonna be.
field of people running
just-
at each other.
Just
Give me some
bashing
Braveheart
around, yeah.
comic stuff.
Wait till the Infinity War.
I know.
I know.
You know,
yeah.
that's gonna be wild.
The Civil War is the build up to that.
You know, and I think I put that question out there. It's just kind of a. I don't know if I felt that way, but I think it crossed my mind in the theater. I'm like, is this the best thing for this? And
I feel here's my final piece on it.
yeah, go ahead.
I think that Ant-Man is a great film if you enjoy any kind of movie with some decent special effects, some decent action, and some decent story. If you're going in there looking for the holy grail of Marvel films, you're in the wrong place. If you miss it because, I mean, you don't even need to watch this to fill in the blanks of the Marvel Universe. Like you said, here's the thing. People who are watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might want to know, okay, so whatever happened to Hydra? Because they have these developed interests in all the different command structures of Hydra. So they're genuinely curious and would have a reason to be. This is where they get that information. If you're not that guy or a group of people and you're not following the television line and you're not curious about Hydra and all that stuff, you can miss this film and not worry about it. You could do that with Winter Soldier. You had to watch that to get some information. But you can definitely miss Ant-Man and feel okay about it.
Yeah.
You know why I gave my Ant-Man a high score?
Why is that?
I went with
6?
my wife. Well, went with my wife. When she walked out of that, she goes, "That was fun. I enjoyed the movie."
Yep.
You know what? If you can walk out of any movie and say, I enjoyed it and I'm glad I watched that, it's a good movie.
I sat next to my friend Preston, who is the biggest Antman fan I know. And he was like, I liked it. It was good. And I could tell his mind wasn't blown.
Yeah. Well,
And he was defending it, and he's entitled to like as much as he wants.
Okay, so don't go expecting to have your mind blown.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, not a great movie.
I think Kevin Smith put it really well on his show. How ridiculous is it that we live in a time where people are taking Ant-Man serious?
right.
Right.
You know, like on the big screen. I think that Ant-Man is yes, you can miss it. I don't think it hurts the catalog of Marvel films. And you know what? It's going to be something we watch on TV whenever it comes on.
Oh yeah, it's going to be my next movie that goes in rotation.
Yeah, you just throw it in rotation. It's in the background. Cool. All right, so that kind of wraps it up for tonight, for today, for this episode.
Thanks for listening to us talk about Antman.
Antman. Okay, so we are Trade Paper Hacks. We are coming to you live from Generation X Comics and Game Studios over here in Bedford, Texas. We thank you all for listening. Got to go ahead and thank the guy across the way, tweaking all the robot nipples. Thank you, Techbooth. Say goodbye, Techbooth.
Goodbye, Techbooth.
Jason Dyer. I keep forgetting to throw his
You
name
should
out
throw
there.
that in there too. So,
All right, so if you want to get a hold of us, you can hit us up on all the social networks. LinkedIn, MySpace, Friendster.
Yeah.
You
do
can
we have a
read.
Tinder account yet?
OpenDiary.com.
You can read Techbooth Zenga, or you can message us on AIM,
Oh yeah.
and not the beehive suits. No, actually, you can hit us up on Facebook, which is probably where you found this episode. That seems to be the majority of where people find our episodes. Or you can hit us up on Twitter. Actually, it's facebook.com/TradePaperHacks.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter and Instagram are both at Trade Paper Hacks.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit us up on Tumblr. We have a Tumblr. It's just Trade Paper Hacks, all Uno words.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can find us on the tubes, the YouTubes.
Mm-hmm.
Not the, I'm not going to say those.
Okay.
There are just some other tubes out there that you should probably avoid.
There's
yeah,
lots
yeah.
of tubes out there.
Yeah.
It's a whole
The internet's a series of
It
tubes.
is a series of tubes.
With the...
Anyway, watch us on YouTube.
Yeah. Watch us on YouTube. We don't actually have a URL yet. That's coming soon.
Subscribe to us.
Subscribe to us. So
So
we
don't
want to
miss it.
go ahead and
Yeah.
tell them.
Drop the shoes, man.
So we actually, thanks to Techbooth and his internet prowess, has finally gotten us TradePaperHacks.com.
Yeah, we are official.
We are official.
So stay tuned to that, where we write luxurious articles about ourselves and make about pages and stuff.
Fawn over and over how amazing we are.
We are really amazing,
Quite.
indeed.
No, I meant quiet. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. All right, so once again, thank you for listening to the show. My name's Alex Lee,
Mark Thompson.
and actually, crap, it's been a long time since
I
I've
know,
done
you
an
screwed
outro.
this up.
Well, what else did I have to leave out?
I don't know what you left out.
What are we doing next week? Do we have anything planned next week? No, we don't have anything planned next week. My name's Alex Lee.
We shouldn't have anything planned next
My
week.
name's Alex
'Cause
Lee.
You kick guys off the show and everything. Stop calling Chad.
My name is Alex Lee.
Yep.
You're Mark Thompson.
oh man.
You have the first line of the
I
outro.
said, my name's Alex Lee.
No,
I'm Mark Thompson.
Yeah.